I figured since you were in here. Cool. I will do the throw. Alrighty. I clicked the wrong button and y'all heard that behind baseball, but it's fine because it means that you all know now that we're ready for another run. Woo, yeah, woo, more games. So, without further ado, I'm going to throw it over to our lovely runner, Twilightsoul 1 with Doom 64, the 2020 version, because apparently there's multiple versions of it. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, Zello, do you want to explain it?
I will in a second. Why don't you introduce yourself first?
Okay, so I'm Twilightsoul, also known as Twi. I go by he, him. I've been running this game for probably just over a year now. And I think that's kind of all I got.
Yeah. And I'm Zelo, or Zello, however you want to say it, he, him. I am a longtime runner of both the original console version of this game and the 2020 re-release. So, Twi, I think you're about ready to go. Let me go ahead and explain this category real quick. This is a Be Gentle full game. We like to call this Be Gentle Speed in the Doom community. Be Gentle is the easiest difficulty. It's basically going to be our any percent. Speed is our any percent. We also have like a max 100% category, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing the full main game campaign and just go through that as quickly as we can.
All right, I'm about already here. All right, as soon as I hit Be Gentle, the time will start.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Alright, so Doom 64, it's not developed by id Software like the first couple of PC games were. This is actually a spin-off made back in 1996 by Midway. Midway wanted to make their own kind of take on Doom after doing some home ports of the game like PlayStation Doom. And they came up with a really, really solid Doom game that's a bit darker, more puzzly, but still has some really, really neat level design, fast-paced action, and really, really excellent sound effects and graphics. We'll go over the movement real quick. Doom is a lot of like... Doom 64 is a lot of like the other FPSs of the early 90s where if you move in two directions at the same time, those movement vectors get added together and you can move a lot faster that way. So this actually comes into play as we do not only just as we do the entire run, we want to go fast, but we also have this trick right here where if we bump two things at a very specific angle and with the right amount of speed, we can do things like pick up that key off the pedestal without having to solve the puzzle. So Doom 64 has some really, really cool tricks like those that we'll get to see throughout the course of this run. And we actually had another trick right there. Even though we grabbed the blue key off the pedestal, we still activate the puzzle to start the blue key sequence. This game has what we have called macros. This is a unique scripting language for Doom 64 compared to PC Doom, and you can basically do small level triggers and other things like those with these macros. By activating the macro for the blue key, when we went to get the red key in the downstairs area, there was normally supposed to be a bunch of crushers that appear, and because the blue key script was already running, we didn't have to see that. So it's just cool to see stuff like that. So we're out for a little break. Twilight's going to go grab this last yellow key using another key bump coming up. This one's a little tricky to set up because there's a bunch of shotgunners in the room. Hopefully they're not going to block them too much here. Oh, very nice getting that first try.
Nice.
I opted for the safe route instead of what I've been trying to do.
It worked out well.
Y'all mind if I already jump in for a dono?
Yes, please go ahead.
I normally wouldn't interrupt you so early, but my very favorite thing in the whole world came up. A community donation. We have $25 from Doom64.com. That says, Twilightsoul and Zello are both Doom 64 legends. We love to see them. We love to see support from a community. That's the best.
Thank y'all. Yeah,
we appreciate it.
We have a wonderful community, not just for speedrunning, but also for lot of really great casual things and mods and such. Anyways, getting into main engineering right now, this level starts introducing a new mechanic in Doom 64. We actually have monster-based triggers where we're going to need to kill certain enemies in order to make different level events happen. So right now we need to kill these 2 lost souls. This opens up the elevator that gets us to the yellow key right here. We also get to see some other weapons and enemies here. We got the super shotgun, which is by far the most useful weapon casually. It only fires 2 shells, but it does roughly 3 times the damage of a normal shotgun shot, and is equivalent to about a rocket. So it's very, very powerful. And it's even better in Doom 64 than it is in PC because the reload time is slightly less. So we get to see other enemies too, like Lost Souls and Cacodemons, and that brings up one interesting thing about 64 is the balance changes to monsters. So Lost Souls, they're normally just kind of annoying in PC Doom. But in this game in particular, they have a lot less health in exchange for being very aggressive. And that means they are a high priority target even in this category of difficulty, because they can shred your health down. So thankfully ammo management isn't too bad in this category. Be Gentle gives you double ammo for anything you pick up. And we also did pick up a backpack earlier on in the campaign, which doubles our ammo capacity for the entire rest of the game until we die, which, well, if we die, we're just going to reload a save. So we're going to keep that backpack for the entire rest of the run. So shells and bullets are definitely not a problem. We want to store rockets and cells for our other weapons later, but we'll get into that later. So Tech Center right here is the first like really open-ended level. This one really showcases what the level design is really like in 64. So in 64, because it was on the N64, it had a lot of constraints concerning memory and such compared to the PC games. So the level design's kind of made around that, where the levels are smaller, but they're kind of more compact and they do a lot of backtracking, and it's a good way of getting a lot out of the system. So we'll be revisiting this room beyond the yellow key a couple times. We're going to hit the switch that opens up the maze area, and then we will come back once we have those bars lowered so we can grab the key. I do want to give a shout out to the really amazing texture work in this game. Like, Midway went all in, making brand new textures and sound effects and music. And I think they did a really fantastic job. And the 2020 remaster in particular really showcases this, because the original version of this game was really dark, even with the brightness turned all the way up. And the remaster fixed that quite nicely, and it's very easy to see. Also, that was the worst key in the game right there. that was really quick.
Just about blocked me in there.
Yeah, but it's nice. So that key in particular was really annoying because it's on a lower part of the floor, and if you run over at full speed, you'll end up passing the key without actually grabbing. You'll probably just get stuck on the crusher. Also, nice amount of health.
Yes, planned.
Alright, so Alpha Quadrant's it's probably the most difficult early game level. This has some pretty difficult tricks that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to do kind of a tight jump later on, and we're also going to do some very fun stuff in what we like to call the American Gladiator room. Shoutouts to Peaches. Health management is going to be important in this level in particular. There's not a whole lot of health, and even though we only take half damage on Be Gentle, there's a lot of high damage enemies like Hell Knights and Barons. Like even with armor and on this difficulty, a scratch from a Hell Knight or Baron could easily do like 25 plus damage. So here's one trick right here. We managed to make this gap. You're normally supposed to lower a couple extra bridges to make that, but you can just barely make that with a strafe run. And Twilight getting that first try was really nice. So we hit this switch right here. Now we have to cross the pillars in the American Gladiator room right here. And this is really scary.
This platform loves to trick me.
I'm gonna blame the line def for that one. So
now everything is in my way.
Yeah, so if you hesitate in that room, the lost souls that are in the room will start getting higher and
I don't know
higher.
if I can get over that.
And they start blocking you. And there's other things that happen in that room, because if you fall, you end up in a pit that's really difficult to get out of, and specters also spawn. There we go. And you think, well, why don't we just kill the enemies? That'll make the pillars safe to cross. And it's like, no, because if you do that, more enemies spawn in particular, a pain elemental definitely spawns that way on a harder difficulty, so we don't want to kill anything. So thankfully we got out of that pretty fine. And it's a quick jaunt to the exit right here. Alright, so we have one interesting trick coming up that Twilight's gonna do cross a gap using a strafe run and actually using knockback from the super shotgun. So the shotgun and the rocket launcher both have knockback in this game. We can use the knockback to get over this gap and go straight to the key. But it's very precise to do this with the super shotgun. Most runners opt to do this with a rocket boost. But Twilight goes for this with the super shotgun because it doesn't cost any health to do so. And ammo's plentiful.
Yeah, well, my luck isn't working today, it seems.
Yeah. It's a very tough trick. In exchange for being able to do it as basically as much as you want, the timing on it's really tight. I've actually personally never actually gotten it to work. So it looks like we're actually going to go for the super shotgun or the rocket launcher method.
I don't even honestly know how to do this one.
You strafe run and hit fire at the same time.
I don't know if I can hit it at the same time. Okay. I'm just struggling, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough. If needed, we can always just go hit the switch for this bridge. It's not too far away. It's just an option, but we also do want to show off the cool things.
I do. It's kind of annoying. Mildly annoying. I guess we'll just go hit the button.
Okay.
I waste way too much time.
That's okay. But hey, that also showcases like the flexibility of the route. There's plenty of variations that you can do. Which one is the button?
This one. This one's a button.
Yeah, that one right there.
It tells you how many times I actually go and hit that button.
Hey, if you play max, then you can definitely go hit the button as much as you want. But that's the nice thing about running this game. This game has several categories, 2 for each difficulty, and there's a lot of flexibility for all categories with like what you do with the route, how safe or how risky you want to make things. So it's, even though it's kind of long for a Doom speedrun, it's actually pretty easy to get into this game. So I'm going to talk briefly about some level design quirks as we walk through the sewers here. So you'll see that we walk down a bunch of steps and we're kind of crossing underneath parts of the map that we were going over earlier. This is a quirk of the Doom engine, because the Doom engine is not fully 3D. It's really just a 2D engine that looks 3D. So you have like a flat plane map, and then you have separate Z offsets for everything. Why that's important is because there are triggers in the floors that we call line defs. When you cross over some of these line defs, they make stairs and platforms and such rise and lower out of view, and so you're able to get up and down areas that would normally be crossing. The problem is, if we manage to skip those triggers, then you can end up in some very bad situations because you'll no longer have a floor to walk on, and there can be some soft locks due to that. So Twi's going to be very careful to not have that happen. Okay, so we're coming up. This is the last map of what we call like the base levels. This game's kind of divided into a base section of 8 levels, and then the rest of the game takes place in hell. So we're gonna do one more key grab coming up right here. This one has a pretty nice setup right here. If we close the blue door,
please,
and we just line up in the corner, and then you can strafe right into the key and just grab it instantly. I like to do that one backwards, so I call that one booty grab. And then coming up, we have the hardest combat section in this base set of levels. So we're going to grab the Soul Sphere for a little bit of extra safety. We're going to spawn these Barons right here, and then we need to kill all 3 Barons in order to make the exit stairs come up. Twilight doesn't have any armor left, And these Barons can do a lot of damage, and also if we fall into the pit, we die instantly, because there's no way to get out. We're hanging on. We're just barely hanging on.
Please don't hit me no more.
We're gonna try and make this work.
Please don't hit me. Okay,
there
we're
we go.
good.
We're good. See, 3%. It's all you need.
Oh, man.
So we get a quick intermission as we leave the base and head into Hell for, I guess, the third time in the series, because this does take place after Doom 2. Alright, so here
I will note real quick, too, Zello, don't spam the button to go through that text, because at the end, if you spam one too many times, you will blow yourself up with the rocket.
That's a you thing. You can't blame me for this one.
I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just saying, don't spam it too much.
Anyways, welcome to Even Simpler. This is the first, like, arena level, where we need to kill waves of enemies to make things here. So we already killed 2 Mancubi, we killed 2 Hell Knights. Now we're gonna spawn these Barons. We need to kill just the Barons and the outer rim of Mancubi in order to make the exit switch appear. This level's not too bad in this category. In Watch Me Die, it is a completely other story and is very chaotic. But thankfully, this invincibility sphere that spawns in the middle of the arena gives us plenty of wiggle room, and we had plenty of rockets to deal with everything, so we'll be able to leave pretty quickly.
That's not quite the weapon I wanted.
Yeah, sometimes playing on controller, cycling through weapons can be a little tricky, and this game, well, since the HUD doesn't show which weapon you have, it just shows the ammo count, it can be easy to end up accidentally picking like one shotgun over the other. I really should mention that Twilight plays controller for this, and he does amazing considering like he has a hand disability. So he plays this amazingly well. So we have one secret that we want to visit in this level. We're going to activate that gargoyle face right before we get to these Barons, and that actually lowers a stair that's going to lead to a secret BFG that we want. The BFG is the most powerful weapon in the game. Very, very, very useful. And I'll briefly explain that real quick. So there's 2 components to the BFG. There's this green plasma ball that you see right here. That does a pretty good amount of damage, but after the ball hits something, a bunch of invisible tracers are fired from Doomguy's position at the angle the ball was fired at. And these tracers can do several thousand points of damage, way more than the actual ball does. So the strategy with the BFG is to basically fire it either into a wall and peekaboo enemies that are around a corner, or fire it right at an enemy and stare straight at him with a big fiery hug. So this is Terror Core. This is another level that has a lot of those over and under triggers. You can see these bridges that we're going over and under. Twilight needs to be very careful not to accidentally skip triggers, otherwise we'll have some very broken bridges that can be very awkward to go back and hit. This is also a level with not a lot of health either, so health management is very important, especially as we're getting kind of beat up by this Hell Knight here.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well,
he constantly gives me troubles.
Yep. Well, as long as we can get that berserk at the beginning of the level if we need to, or we can try and just skedaddle to the end. There's some options. Thankfully, we just have to blow away these lost souls real quick. It looks like we're gonna make a run for it right here.
Nope.
Oh.
Okay.
They were ready. You say
Do I go
you don't
this
need to
way?
Go back to the walkways, yeah. Oh, the Hell Knight.
He wasn't even in that direction.
He don't like you.
Nothing seems to like me today.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it yet, but everything in this game is very random. Monster movement is random, monster damage is random, your own damage is very random.
Don't touch me!
Accuracy can be very random. There we go. Now you're nice and healthy again. So, if you see something and you think it's random, or if you don't think it's random, it's probably random. Anyways, now that we're nice and healthy, we can tear through this last set of Hell Knights and a Baron, and get straight to the exit.
Oh,
There we go.
man.
Alright, Altar's pretty straightforward for the most part for a bit, so if you have any announcements, Happy, this would actually be a great time for them.
Oh, sorry, I unmuted myself for stream and realized I wasn't unmuted in the... So I'm like, they have no idea that I'm talking to them. Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick reminder, you know, we've talked about where this money's going, but what are we doing? Well, this is No Holidays Allowed 2023, presented by No Glitches Allowed. It's an event open to all kinds of speedruns and showcases that runners have to offer, not actually just glitchless runs. We are looking forward to showing off some amazing speedruns to watch as you bundle up by the campfire this winter. Did you know there are other No Glitches Allowed events, like Complete-a-thon? That's right, Complete-a-thon exists. It's an event that features completionist or 100% categories. This event typically takes place in the summertime, so you can follow us at twitch.tv/Complete-a-thon or at Complete-a-thon on Twitter for announcements so that you won't miss the next Complete-a-thon.
Thank you very much. So you can see briefly the Unmaker. This is the brand new weapon in Doom 64. Unfortunately, it's upgraded by artifacts that are in the secret levels, and we're not going to be visiting any secret levels in the run, so it's unfortunately very useless, but it looks really cool. And hey, the free plasma is pretty nice, because, like I said earlier, rockets and cells are very important to manage, and we want lots of them. Alright, so we're at about the halfway point in the run, levels-wise. This is where things start getting really complicated in terms of getting lost. The levels are very, very labyrinth at this point, and this level in particular has some really mean traps. We're normally intended to get a invincibility and come down to this dart room down here, but since we have enough health, thanks to a soul sphere we picked up on the last level, we're just gonna run through the darts as fast as possible and just tank everything and get out of the way before the Baron fireballs tear us apart. And thankfully we didn't take much damage. Twilight's in pretty healthy shape to get through the rest of this level, which is good because the library is not trivial either. I gotta appreciate that that skybox in the level though when you go into the lower area. Like the textures in this level are cool too, but especially like just like the night sky looks cool, even though we're in hell. So, plasma gun right here. We don't use it too much in 64. Like, the weapon balance is also a little bit different in 64, and plasma is definitely the most changed of all of them. This Hell Knight does not want to give you let you through.
None of them do.
So the plasma gun has no cooldown in 64 like it does in PC Doom, but the firing rate is like 2/3 of what it is in PC Doom. It's really slow and just it's generally not worth it unless you're fighting a bunch of weaker monsters. So we use it here and there, but usually you just want to keep yourselves for the BFG, which is very, very useful all around. The Spectres don't want to let you buy either.
I always have that problem. I think I need to start killing more of them.
Well, they wanted to make sure you had a library pass. I don't think you have a library pass for Hell.
I do not.
Alright, so we've got more monster triggers coming up right here in Eye of the Storm. We need to kill 4 Hell Knights in order to make the blue key appear. BFG will make quick work of these. We have plenty of cells for that, but it's really... Once we get the key and enter into the keep, things are going to get really hairy, because we're gonna see a Pan Elemental for the first time. Pan Elementals are extremely dangerous in 64. In PC Doom, they're just kind of annoying, spawning Lost Souls. In 64, they can spawn 2 Lost Souls at a time instead of 1. But that's not all. If you try and spawn block those Lost Souls with your body like you can in PC Doom, the Lost Souls will just explode in your face for rocket damage, and that usually just kills you. So they are extremely deadly. So thankfully, we didn't get smacked by that one. We've got plenty of cells. We've got just a little bit of health here. It's going to be a little sketchy. We should be able to make this work, but behind this last door is a bunch of lost souls, so Twilight's definitely got to be a little bit careful. And there's shotgunners on the side, too. We don't want to get sniped by them. So, playing it safe, taking chain gun. Oh,
Jesus.
The 1% health! The only one that matters.
Oh,
Please save.
I always do.
Thanks. Thankfully, there are some med kits in the beginning. We do have a key clip coming up right here. We're going to do this key grab. If you just walk along the corner of that pillar for whatever reason, you can grab the key. It's just nice. It'll just eventually bounce you around until you get to where you need to go. But otherwise, this is another pretty straightforward level in general. We can talk about the level designers real quick. This game had 3 main level designers. We had Randy Estrella, Tim Hadelar, and Danny Lewis, I believe. And they all had kind of their own styles. Danny did a lot more of like the gimmicky maps and some of the weirder ones. Randy and Tim kind of balanced them out. And I think overall the level design in this game is really, really strong for what it is. And does some really, really cool things. Alright, so Blood Keep's a pretty involved level with a lot of backtracking. There's just going to be a lot of backtracking back and forth, and that also means enemies are going to be following us around. So we're going to be very careful getting from one place to another. There is one trick that we can hopefully get. This one's luck-based. If an enemy manages to wedge itself into the door that we entered from when it closes, the door politely goes back up. And unfortunately, no enemy did that, so we're just going to have to open the door ourselves.
He thought about it.
Yeah, he was there. He was just like scratching the door, waiting for you to get in. This level does have some pretty nice goodies to help us survive. There is a Mega Armor and a Soul Sphere coming up right here. So Soul Sphere is pretty straightforward. It gives you plus 100 health over the normal max 100. Mega Armor, let's talk about Armor real quick. Armor does reduce damage, but there's 2 types of Armor classes. There's Green Armor, which reduces damage by 1/3, and the rest of it, the damage that's blocked, is taken out of the Armor stat. And then Mega Armor is basically the same, except damage is reduced by 1/2. So we want to grab a lot of Mega Armor where possible, because it helps our survivability. And there's one other weird quirk to Armor. If you were to grab Green Armor when you already have Blue Armor, then your Armor class is basically reduced to the 1/3 protection. So we try and use up the 50% protection as much as possible. Oh no, it looks like there's somebody blocking. Somebody was very tall. So there's one trick shot with the BFG that we're going to go for right here. We need to kill everything in this room right here, but a little bit of luck, and unfortunately we didn't quite get it. That's okay. Also, nice face rocket right there. Shout outs to Dime. It's not a Doom marathon run without a Dime face rocket.
Oh my gosh, every time. I miscount how many times I'm pressing my button. I do that all based off of the audio because I use whatever hand works best. And sometimes it's the right hand, which is not good.
Whatever gets the job done, right? Speaking of getting the job done, here's another arena level with Watch Your Step, and oh boy is the title fitting for this one. This is going to be a very involved level involving several waves of enemies as we get back to the start here. We only need to kill certain enemies of each wave to make the next wave spawn. So Twilight's going to do this in a very specific order. And what we can do is we have a thing called spawn blocking in this game, where if an enemy or yourself manages to be over the spot where an enemy would spawn, then it just doesn't spawn. And that means that could be less things for us that we need to kill.
And I think he blocked the wrong one.
Yeah, I think that looked like the other one needed to get blocked. So that's okay. Not a big deal. We need to kill this last Hell Knight, and then we kill the Mancubi and the Arachnotrons that come up. And then afterwards, we have our first Cyber Demon. Cyber Demons are extremely scary because they shoot rockets, and even on this difficulty, they're going to hurt a lot. So we're going to save right before that, and we are going to BFD them as best we can. I play this very aggressively with the BFG, but it's probably going to go safer, especially since health is a little bit low here. So we're going to use these pillars for a lot of cover and just kind of snipe where we can. Oh, very nice kill. It only took a few shots, too. So we're going to grab one cell pack on the way out, and we're going to get out of
Why
here.
is he in here?
Oh, that was scary.
He could have literally just blocked the exit. Okay.
Alright, so Spawn Fear right here is one of the most involved levels in the entire game. This is definitely one of the longest maps. Probably the second longest. There's going to be a lot of backtracking. There's going to be a lot of... There's going to be some downtime in the middle bit, but for the most part, this is going to be a pretty action-packed level. With a lot of tight corridors to navigate with a lot of Barons and Hell Knights. Oh, that fireball could have taken you out. You were so lucky RNG was on your side. So thankfully on the way to the blue door, there is a hidden soul sphere that we're going to grab in a fake wall. This game is filled with secrets, as early 90s FPSs are.
Let me through!
Oh, that Kako, very comfy Kako, just in your way. I mean, to be fair, we're in their home. We're kind of invading on them. So this is just a bunch of scripts right here. We need to trigger the dart script right here. Once the darts finish, this door opens, and then basically after that we have another waiting section where we're just gonna wait. There would normally be a lot of pain elementals that spawn from this room if you aggro them, but if you stay silent and stay out of their view, the one that spawns in just never moves, and you can just wait out the timer that way. And while we're doing that, we're actually going to set up for another spawn block here, because we do need to kill... We would normally need to kill 2 Hell Knights to get out of this room, but we can spawn block one of them and just kill the other. Oh, they both wanted to
completely
spawn.
missed them, I mean...
Well, that's okay. The BFG took care of both of them in one shot. Like I said, BFG is by far the most powerful weapon in the game, but it does take some getting used to knowing how to use it. So we're going to make our way back to the library area, and we have a big cavern section coming up. This is open-ended to be able to do different ways. Are you gonna grab the Megasphere?
I don't remember where it was. Is it this one in the wall?
Yes, the one on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some nice safety that we can get right here. There's a hidden Megasphere. Sets you instantly to 200 health and armor with Mega Armor Protection. Really nice. It looks like we're not going to need that extra cell pack, so we're just going to go ahead and kill this pan elemental for later. And then we have a couple switches that we need to hit in order to make some stuff work. We do want to eliminate a few enemies, because we're going to be backtracking through this area a bit later. And there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in. Also, we do a little bit of a skip here. Normally you need to lower one extra pillar in order to get to this one, but we don't need to do that. We can just jump straight to this one. Oh, that Baron is not happy. That Baron was very not happy at the Lost Soul. When you can get monsters to infight, it's great. Just watch one of them fly off in the distance. Alright, so we finally have the last key. We can finally get to the exit, which is all the way back at the beginning of the level. Like I said, there's a lot of backtracking involved in Doom 64, just due to the level design. Thankfully, nothing really got in your way. You are in great shape. There is one little nasty surprise, or I guess 2 nasty surprises. One, this stairway can get kind of clogged up. But 2, there's a pain elemental that's right next to the exit door. We're going to try and run past it. And thankfully we got through it without a problem. If you get stuck on him, he can easily just chew you apart with Lost Soul explosions. So, very nicely done. Alright, so this is Spiral. This is a very, very straightforward level. It's exactly what it says. We just need to hit a couple switches. There are plenty of rockets to get us up to 100 rockets if we need them, which not too big a concern in this category, but very useful for other categories. We just pick up some extra power-ups and we're just going to leave. We can try and open the door through the wall right here. Doom does have some really weird collision code where you can partially use things through walls, but it's pretty specific in this version of the game in particular. Anyways, we didn't talk about height in particular. We did get blocked by an enemy during Blood Keep, but like I said early in the run, Doom doesn't have like a specific height thing. It's not a true 3D engine. It's everything's just kind of stored with separate z-axes, so you can get blocked by enemies that are like all the way on the ground, even if you're 30 feet above. But we were also able to hit a switch early on in the level by having the super shotgun target something that's way up there, even though we're not really supposed to. Nobody's really sure why that works, even like after years of like playing this game. We just know that it does. So we do need to clear out all these pinkies for some exit bars to open. It looks like there was one last pinky running around. It's very random, but that should be the last one. Yeah, it's funny too, because that door is normally locked until you kill everything anyway, so you only see those bars if you're not already like out of the room. We're going to skip lowering some bars as well by making this really nice jump over to the ledge, and we can just kind of slip around these bars right here. Thankfully, they're just wide enough for Doom Guy to get through, even with his giant booty. Very rude shotgunner right there. So thankfully Twilight's been handling everything pretty well, especially going to the next level with Pitfalls. We want some extra health and armor. Pitfalls is pretty involved. It's very easy to get stuck on things. There's a lot of really weird geometry in this level. So we're going to kill everything in this opening section first to make the yellow key spawn. And then we need to basically transform the pitfall area using some switches. There is a very specific jump that you can do in order to get to a teleporter faster, but it's not much faster, and it's really hard to do, especially on keyboard and controller.
It's basically, you kind of just... You wing it and you jump across, but...
Yeah, even on keyboard and mouse it's pretty difficult, so going for it on controller is really tough, and I don't blame Twilight for skipping out on that, because it doesn't save much time anyways. It looks cool, but yeah, you usually just get really frustrated and just end up losing a lot of time anyway, so it's fine to just skip out on it, especially since we need to do it again later anyways. So we've got one more key bump coming up right here. But this one's a little scary because the Baron's right here and can throw fireballs. So we're going to hopefully get stuck on this corner and be able to grab the key. There we go. And thankfully he didn't scratch you or anything. I thought he was going to come over and smack you. I was a little worried. So we're going to clear out a few things because we do need to come back through these hallways a little bit later. And that brings us to getting towards the last key, which is all the way on this giant crevice up here. Thankfully we have a bunch of health. We can skip a soul sphere that slowly spawns in. We're looking pretty healthy right now. But this jump in particular is really easy to miss. Whenever you fall off an edge in Doom, your momentum is completely preserved. There's no kind of air control like there is in, say, Quake. So the moment you fall, you are committed to that direction and speed. We're gonna hope nothing's blocking us on the way back to the exit here. Oh, yep, just a poor zombie man just got mowed down. He had a bad day. Alright, so burn offerings. I don't really have anything else to add for this level. If we have any extra other announcements, now's probably a pretty good time.
We always have announcements. There's always things to talk about. There's always something happening. Because, did you know, you can donate? I know. Mind-blowing stuff, but you can. I'm talking specifically to you, person who wonders if I'm talking specifically to them. You can donate money to help animals find homes and live happy, fulfilling lives, just like the one who is making it hard to do my job by laying on my keyboard. And if you are looking to donate, you can put !donate in chat to get the link to our Tiltify page, where you can make a direct donation to Go Rescue. We also have some incentives and bid wars going on that you can donate towards. Our next upcoming incentive, we are $35 away from getting that sight reading showcase for Spin Rhythm XD. And we have some polls coming up. You can choose which pride flag to use in Sticky Business, a fun, cozy little sticker game. Or you can literally choose which game M-Chan is going to play between New Super Luigi U or New Super Mario Bros. 2. So if you want to literally choose which game will be in the marathon, you have that power.
Thank you. Yeah, all of those are great choices. Please donate if you can. In particular, being a rhythm gamer, you definitely want to see Spin Rhythm. Anyways, we're coming up into Unholy Temple. This is the longest level in the game right here. This has a lot of combat involved. There are a lot of monster-based triggers right here. So we're going to actually use rockets right here to soften up a bunch of enemies early on. So normally we need to kill the arachnotrons on the bottom to move to the middle floor of the castle. Then we kill the specters to get access to the upper, and then we kill the Hell Knights up there, and we get access to more stuff. But by being able to use some rockets early on, we can stop the specters and one of the Hell Knights from running around everywhere and basically causing us a bunch of trouble. There's one other danger in this map. This game does have some missing enemies compared to Doom 2, just due to cartridge limitations of the time. So we don't have enemies like Revenants. But their missiles are still in the game, and the missiles fly out when we're at parts of the castle, so we had to be very careful to avoid these homing rockets. Otherwise, we get torn up pretty bad. Twilight refilled up on a secret that gets him back up to 600 cells. Very useful for the end game, because we're going to be using the BFG a lot in the last couple of levels. And then we just need to wait out this set of pinky waves, and we'll be able to grab the blue key. Interestingly enough, we do need to pick up all 3 keys, but that's not where the level ends when we pick up the 3rd key. There's a little bit more after that, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Are you going to try for the yellow key skip?
I'll attempt it. I haven't had much luck with it, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. So we do have a line def skip coming up. That's possible to grab a yellow key early that normally gets... that would disappear and then reappear somewhere else. We're going to see if we can grab that key early by skipping the trigger that would cause it to disappear. This is a very specific trick. It's quite difficult. It does save quite a bit of time, but I can understand not going for it or just wanted to skip it, because we have to line ourselves up in a very specific corner, and then we need to make a very specific strafe run. And that one didn't quite get it. If the Hell Knight spawns, then that means we didn't get it.
I'm still kind of trying to figure out how it actually works, so bear with me. Nope. Alright,
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I don't want to waste too much time with it.
That's okay. We'll just grab the key the normal way. This does add a little bit of extra danger. The Hell Knights are spawned in. We do have to revisit this room later, but we can deal with them then. But the castle locks after we actually grab the yellow key that way, so we need to kill a couple of cacos to get back in. And this back one does not really like to play nice with rockets. Well, that time it did, thankfully.
Usually he hides.
He likes to hide. Cacos do that. Alright, so this level has a unique gimmick where once we get access to this room, we actually need to hit 3 very specific switch combinations to open locked doors. Thankfully, the combinations are always the same. You just start with one switch, and then you hit the switches clockwise. If you hit them wrong, then a Hell Knight spawns in. You don't want that, so... But now we're gonna go back to a couple parts of the level. We're gonna hit this first switch here. We need to hit 3 switches total in order to lower the barriers that are blocking the exit that were back in the room with the yellow key. So we have one last area to visit. This area can be a little bit silly. It's very easy to get stuck in the lava that spawns. And our rockets like to target the Hell Knights that are in those other rooms for whatever reason. They have a mind of their own sometimes.
Why are you...
He wants to say hi. Are you gonna deny
No!
that? Wow, rude.
You're in the way!
Well, we'll see if they get in the way in a little bit. We're gonna hit the second switch right here. And thankfully, very conveniently, the last switch we need to hit is right next to the exit, so we don't need to go too far. Thankfully, everybody played really nice and left you alone. We'll see where these two Hell Knights are going to be right here. Sometimes they like to block the hallway like this.
Exactly like that.
Mm-hmm. They know
Usually
you fear the
you can
cyber in
skip
the
through
next
it.
level. They really want to wear you down.
Yep. They know the cyber likes to be rude.
Yep. Alright, so this is No Escape. This is the penultimate level. This has our second Cyber Demon encounter. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a whole lot of resources to work with here. There is a Megasphere in the cage where the Cyber Demon is, and once we kill the Cyber Demon, the level ends. But it can be scary to try and dance around the Cyber, especially on controller, and grab those resources while we're in the middle of fighting. We're going to get our BFG prepped up. Ooh, that was one heavy hit. Oh, y'all double KO'd. you can't finish by double KOing.
But then I lose all my stuff.
Yeah, but there's plenty of stuff in the next level.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So
I don't
if you
even know who
manage,
killed me.
Yeah. So if you manage to double KO, as long as you don't actually push a button, then you would actually advance to the next level even though you're dead, but that restarts you back to a pistol start at the beginning of the next level. But thankfully there's plenty of resources in this level, so it wouldn't be a problem if that happened. Anyways, this is the last level. This is the Absolution. We have one last arena level to finish this out. It's very funny how this level works. There are basically 3 teleporters that are going to spawn enemies in that are coming from a room that's way off in the distance of the map. If we had visited the secret levels, we would get artifacts that would actually allow us to close these gates, and it's really funny because it closes the gates by literally crushing all the enemies to death. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that, so we're going to take this invincibility. We're going to do as much as we can with the BFG and rocket launcher, and we're just going to slug it out and kill everything here. And once we kill all the enemies that are already active at the beginning, then the final boss, the Mother Demon, spawns in. Now, the Pain Elementals are definitely the highest priority since they're spawning Lost Souls constantly and they can interrupt your rockets. We don't want that happening. I have enough of that happening. We've already had one face rocket in this run. So thankfully, Twilight still has plenty of health for the most part, plenty of cells. We want to keep a couple shots for the very end when we have to fight the Mother Demon, because she has a lot of health. She has the most health out of anything at 5,000 HP. But arena's getting cleaned up pretty quickly. Didn't have any huge mishaps. Just a few stray enemies here and there, but nothing big. And of course, a very casual last imp. Alright, so here is the Mother Demon. We have a lot of help. We're just going to tank and just give her a big fiery hug over and over. That's the Mother Demon right there. Time is coming up when the results screen happens. And that's time.
Wow, what a run.
Yeah, GG. It was a good run overall. And Doom Guy remains in hell forever. Well, forever until until 2016 and eternal.
Or forever until you decide you want to replay the game in the next couple seconds.
Yeah, great run overall. It was good. It's looking like a low 47. That's pretty solid.
Yep, 4708 is what I got on my end.
Anything else you want to say, Twilight?
I think that's all I got. Just a big thank you to our Doom community on Discord, and everybody that stopped by, showed support. Greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to play this here on the marathon.
Yeah, like, thank y'all for having us. I will say, if you are interested in playing this game even casually or speedrunning it, get in touch with one of us. We'll be happy to help you. We'll set you up. You can also join the Doom 64 Discord. Morpher is in the chat right there. He's like our admin, and he takes care of things, and we have plenty of casual content and mod content and pretty much anything you need to get if you want to play this game. So, but thank y'all for having us.
I have once again unmuted myself in the wrong place. Thank you both so much. Fantastic run, and incredibly good time for a marathon run. That's, what, like a minute and a half off? We love to see it. Phenomenal stuff. Thank you both so much for your time, and thank you, everybody in chat, for hanging out and playing some Doom with us. You may notice that our schedule has changed, because you may also notice that Twilight was simply too fast. You're simply too good at Doom. And so we have some time to throw a little filler run in between Doom and our upcoming Shadowgate run. We're gonna get to see some Quake run by Limey. Seemed like a reasonable thing to put after Doom, kinda, you know, same vibes from Doom and Quake. So we will have a Quake run coming up in just a few minutes as soon as we finish setup for that. In the meantime, enjoy the music, enjoy the puppy videos, and I will see y'all when we are set up and ready for that next run. right, everybody, I have word that we are going to go live with the next run in about 8 minutes or so as we just finish up that setup. So I want to leave y'all with a couple reminders of stuff that we have coming up. There are quite a few donation targets, and we actually just opened another one. We opened something new for Payday 3 to upgrade the final level to Overkill, the hardest difficulty. So if you want to see Metroid Crime and Couch Guy / Indie Villain struggle a little bit more at the end of their run, you have the power to do that. For just $50, we will upgrade that last level to Overkill. Coming up before that, we do still have the Sight Read Showcase for Spin Rhythm XD, as well as the Sonic Generations incentive to play all the Unleashed Day stages. And for SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, we have a category upgrade to True Any Percent. I don't know what that means, but I'd love to find out. It sounds to me like that incentive will get us more Battle for Bikini Bottom, and if I learned anything from being in high school, it's that more of that game is always a good thing. So if you have the means, if you are able to donate, we would really appreciate it. And we've got some great incentives and a great cause for that money to go to. And speaking of sweet little puppies, mine is whining that she needs a walk real quick. So with the run starting in 5 minutes here, I'm going to go take that puppy out, and I will be back with y'all when we get started on that run. So enjoy the puppy videos in the meantime, and I'll see y'all in a few minutes. What's up, everybody? I'm back. My dog has gone to the bathroom. And we have some donos. We have $10 from Shufflecat with no comment, but thank you so much for that generous donation. And $7.77 from our previous host, Mash. It says, just want to say thank you to everyone on staff for allowing and choosing to have me be a part of this event as a first-time host. It was certainly an enjoyable new experience and light to see an event on the other side of production. Thank you so much, Mash, for donating your time and donating your money. We really, really appreciate everything you do for so many marathons. And with that, we're getting there. We're close. Fret not, y'all. Quake is coming. Now, we are at $592.77. And a quarter of the way to our goal is $625. I think we can hit that milestone pretty easily by the end of Quake, right? Like we can be at a quarter of the way there by the time Quake ends.